On June 12, 2023, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket successfully lifted multiple satellites to orbit, among them the W1 belonging to California-based Varda Space Industries. On board was a small automated laboratory, and over the course of the 8-month mission, it successfully made a specific form of ritonavir, a drug commonly used to treat HIV. That might not sound like a big deal, but it's a crucial proof of concept for a technique that paves the way for manufacturing drugs in orbit that can't be made on Earth. That Varda's ritonavir was created exactly as predicted and remained stable through its return to Earth is particularly promising. The version of the drug the company attempted is one of its least stable forms. Pulling off its manufacture in space is proof that not only can the company's technology make a drug in orbit, it can also deliver it safely back to Earth. Our analysis confirms that we have the same manufacturing control in space as we do on Earth, Varda Chief Science Officer Adrian Radocia told Forbes. But why would anyone want to manufacture drugs in space? They're expensive enough already, and rockets aren't cheap. The answer lies in the process of crystallization. In many drugs, the way that crystallization occurs can have major impacts on manufacturing costs, overall quality, stability, and how well it works on patients. Plus, it can determine whether it can be made as a pill or will require N4. And as it turns out, in the microgravity of space, it's easier to make certain crystals than it is here on Earth, and to have finer control over the process. That's why experiments with protein crystallization have been ongoing on the International Space Station for over 2 decades now. In the past year, pharmaceutical giants Bristol Myers Squibb and Lilly have both established protein crystallization experiments to the International Space Station. One key breakthrough, said Varda co-founder and president Delian Asperowov, is a 2019 experiment performed on the International Space Station with Merck's cancer drug Keytruda. That research found that in microgravity, it was possible to make stable crystal forms of the drug that could be delivered with an injection and stored at room temperature. That's a huge difference. The Earth-made version requires refrigeration and can only be administered to patients via 4. That experiment was impressive, Asperowov said, but also showed the limitations of using the ISS as the primary place to do this kind of research. The cadence has been way too low and the costs have been way too high, he said. That's because the ISS is a complex spacecraft certified to safely carry people, but humans are not really necessary to make drug ingredients without needing any astronauts on board. That's what ultimately led to the founding of Varda in 2020 by Asperowov, Will Brewy and Daniel Marshall. Marshall left the company in 2022. The company has since raised $54 million in venture capital to date, at a valuation of $149.5 million, according to PitchBook. Its vision is to build reusable automated manufacturing satellites that can make drug ingredients in space and return them back to Earth to deliver to their customers without needing any astronauts on board. With its first demonstration mission a success, Asperowov said the company is ready to start making products for customers on its orbital manufacturing platform. These wouldn't necessarily be small batches either. As an example, Asperowov said one of Varda's craft could be optimized to make ingredients for around 200,000 doses of Keytruda in space at a time. I think Varda will be the first company to actually show that there's value to atoms being moved back and forth from space, he said. Thank you for watching. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates and stories from Noble Black News. Stay tuned for more insightful content. Thank you. Return of the ritonavir, a study on the stability of pharmaceuticals processed in orbit, 20 March 2024. Version 2. Despite notable progress in realizing the benefits of microgravity, the physical stability of therapeutics processed in space has not been sufficiently investigated. Environmental factors including vibration, acceleration, radiation, and temperature, if not addressed, could impact the feasibility of in-space drug processing. The presented work demonstrates the successful recovery of the metastable form 3 of ritonavir generated in orbit. The test samples and passive controls containing each of the anhydrous forms of ritonavir, Form I, Form 2, Form 3, and amorphous exhibit excellent stability. By providing a detailed experimental dataset centered on survivability, we pave the way for the future of in-space processing of medicines that enable the development of novel drug products on Earth and benefit long-duration human exploration initiatives. In addition to creating completely new treatments, PCG research on station can lead to drug formulations that are easier to store and last longer, such as those stable at room temperature that eliminate the need for refrigeration. This modification lowers the cost and simplifies distribution of drugs. PCG5, work sponsored by the ISS National Lab, focused on how drugs known as monoclonal antibodies are given to patients. Monoclonal antibodies do not dissolve easily in liquid and typically are delivered intravenously, requiring a patient to spend hours in a clinic setting. High-quality crystalline suspensions produced 3 by PCG5 could enable delivery by injection, making treatment more convenient for patients and caregivers and significantly reducing cost. Merck Research Laboratories, developer of a series of PCG experiments, produced simple hardware and processes that scientists from other disciplines can use to conduct microgravity research. JAXA has worked to increase interest in PCG research in microgravity as well, developing a technology for membrane protein crystallization, for example. Other studies have advanced the field of protein crystallization by producing 4 new processes for growing high-quality crystals aboard the space station. By providing a platform for PCG research, the space station plays a key role in bringing people on Earth new and better treatments for diseases. Thank you for watching. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates and stories from Noble Black News. Stay tuned for more insightful content. Thank you.
While they lived in different environments for nearly a year, as well as other selected research. The results revealed clues to the potential impact long-term space missions could have on a human body. But to find conclusive answers to their most pressing questions, scientists needed more data and an integrated system could affect changes in the other systems in the body and whether or not those changes plateau or get better or worse over time. The study also hopes to gain insights into long-term effects